Hey guys, welcome back to MuscleMentor.net. I'm Brad Hall and this is Justin Harris. And we're going to talk a little bit about stimulants. All right, Justin, go ahead and take it away. I know, you're a bit more on the stimulant wagon than I am.
Yeah, well, I'm naturally slothful, so I have a pretty high tolerance to stimulants in that it takes just about I mean it takes a high amount of anything just to get me out of bed in the morning. But no, this is kind of I've had I don't know why it seems like modafinil has come back up recently, but I just had a couple clients mention it, maybe a couple weeks ago, and then another client really interested in it just the other day. And I've seen, for whatever reason, more and more people talking about it. It's kind of a product that came out big maybe 10 years ago, and I didn't really hear much about it since. But then I see it popping up all the time, and I just clients curious about its use in bodybuilding. And there's the benefits for hard stimulant use, which would be maybe your strong beta agonists like ephedrine or clenbuterol, or even things amphetamine based things like Adderall and things like that, is that they get you going when you don't have anything else, when you're dieting, when you don't have any other energy source, you don't have that food energy source, and you don't have the fat stores and the glycogen stores as an energy source. It's something to help you keep moving and keep going. And also, the biggest thing really is that they're huge appetite suppressants,
Yeah.
and people have to diet really hard. It probably the biggest benefit of using stimulants is for that. But there's a big downside to the harsh stimulants like Adderall and amphetamine based stimulants, in that they're really not beneficial for muscle growth. I mean, basically telling your body to do the opposite of what we're trying to do as bodybuilders. They're telling your body to use whatever energy source they can find as quickly as possible, with no desire for burning fat over muscle, and actually it would preferentially use muscle for energy if it can, because that's an easy energy source.
Right.
And so and it slows recovery. And I remember reading a study once actually that showed a decrease in metabolism, a basal metabolic rate on amphetamines. Of course, the actual metabolic rate tended to be higher because people moved more and,
Right.
and were
Yeah,
more
because
active.
they're all
Yeah,
jittering around the plow in
yeah.
the house. Yeah.
But if you just take a person and put them in a heat sensitive room and have them read a book for 2 hours, it seemed like they actually produced less heat. I haven't been able to find the study since I read that, which was 10 or 15 years ago. But then back to modafinil. Modafinil works is a different way, and I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of it for being used the way people would have been asking me about using it. I don't think it's a strong appetite suppressant. Well, if people don't know what modafinil is, it was originally designed for like fighter pilots, and it's used for shift workers and people with narcolepsy and sleep apnea issues. It kind of makes the brain not want to go to sleep, and it's supposed to be not a strong stimulant. It's supposed to be not all the jitters and all the side effects of Adderall, and I haven't found that to be the case. I actually got prescribed it for sleep apnea 10 years ago, which is why I mentioned, for me, it seemed like it was more prevalent back then, probably because from a personal point of view, I was prescribed it for a short period. I found it to be kind of more jittery actually than other stimulants. It gave me a weird heart racing kind of feeling where I didn't feel strong on it at all. I felt actually kind of weak, and I don't know really. It felt like my heart would pump, but it wasn't pumping blood. It's hard to explain, but almost like
Right.
an empty type feeling.
Yeah.
And
The same thing happened. Like I felt like my heart was racing so bad that I wanted to like go to bed, but I
yeah,
couldn't sleep.
but yeah, but unfortunately, you can't go to sleep and
Right.
make it go away. But yeah, and I didn't notice really any appetite suppressant effect. And another thing, while I'm talking about with stimulants, I didn't notice any real drive to want to train harder. Another thing a lot of bodybuilders get into is using short acting, and powerlifters especially get into using short acting strong stimulants for pre training motivation and drive. And I think my feeling is that people who tend towards ADD or ADHD type things get the opposite effect when
Yeah.
they take strong stimulants.
Yeah.
Rather than their training for them is already their ADD medication. They already have that antsiness and want to go to the gym. and taking a strong stimulant like that, actually, rather than want to go to the gym, they now want to study, or they now want to go read something, or they don't have that drive to go lift heavy things.
Yeah.
And I feel like modafinil did the same thing for me with that. And so I mean, certainly, well, we don't condone illegal drug use, but if your doctor prescribes it for whatever reason, certainly give it a try. But I don't know why it's been popping up recently with clients. Like I said, maybe 3 of them have brought it up in the last 2 months. I don't know why it's been popping up, and I think probably I'm assuming some big online site is selling it. That's usually what happens is someone tries to sneak through the FDA and sell it illegally for a short period, and people hear about it. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's a particularly good fat burner. I don't think it's particularly good appetite suppressant. I don't think it's a particularly good training stimulant. So
Yeah, there's better out there.